Alright, so Super Mario Bros. Wonder is about to release in a little over a month, and up to this point we've gotten access to almost every power-up within the game and a couple of badges as well. So in this video we're going to be going through every single power-up and badge and ranking them from worst to best in their respective categories. But before we get into the video, don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, as we're really close to reaching our 10,000 subscriber goal before the end of the year. And if you want to keep up with any of my uploads or anything Super Mario Bros. Wonder related, turn on the notification bell as well. But now with that out of the way, let's get to the first power-up of the ranking, which is the Fire Form, sitting at number 5. Now the reason why it's the last in the list is because it isn't one of the newer power-ups, and it isn't as powerful as the newer ones either. The only thing that it does is shoot out fireballs and destroys the basic enemies such as the Goombas and Koopas, whereas power-ups such as the Bubble Form can destroy things like dry bones, which are otherwise unkillable. And it's one of the original power-ups too, so there wasn't ever going to be any changes to it anyways. But now for number 4 on this list, which is the Drill Form, which takes a spot as it's able to drill into the ground or ceiling, which makes you invulnerable to all foes around you, as well as being able to destroy certain blocks that are posed in your way. But the only drawback is that this power-up is only useful in certain levels and certain situations, as another perk to this power-up is that it can destroy enemies that fall from above you from the ceiling, like Spinies, which are only spawning in the conditions of an underground level. So this power-up is taking the number 4 spot because of the specification that allows this power-up to be useful, as it's not 100% useful in every single level that comes. Now for the number 3 spot, which is the Bubble Form, which I did talk about earlier on in the video, where it's able to destroy enemies that you come in contact with, especially dry bones like I mentioned before, which aren't able to be killed otherwise. But on top of it being able to destroy enemies that the bubble comes in contact with, they're also able to be used as temporary platforms to get up to higher ledges, as they disappear the moment you jump on them. The bubbles are also able to go through walls, which is a plus, and are able to send out multiple bubbles using a spin jump. And the reason this power-up is sitting at number 3 is strictly because of what's coming up next at number 2, which is the Wonder Flower, which gives you access to a multitude of other power-ups which aren't exactly able to be attained without it. From the gameplay that has been shown throughout the trailers, when using the Wonder Flower, your character is able to turn into a variety of things like a spike ball, a Goomba, and whatever the stretchy form even is. The Wonder Flower also dictates how the terrain looks, such as the perspective of the level being changed or the entire level changing as a whole. Like, look at this, Mario's floating through space, and the moment he collects the Wonder Seed, the level goes back to completely normal. That's the craziness the Wonder Flower brings to this game, and the best thing about it is that no two wonders are alike, so you'll never get the same wonders in any given level, which is just creativity on another level. So props to the developers on that decision. But now for the number 1 spot on the power-up ranking, which we all know is the Elephant Form, which is just an all-around really fun power-up to play with. You get to turn into an elephant for God's sake, and that's all the fans really wanted out of a new 2D Mario game, some sort of newfound creativity in the Mario market, as most games follow the exact same pattern and are filled with the same characters or power-ups. So this power-up is a real refresher on the entire 2D Mario franchise. But for what it does, you probably already know, you're able to destroy things with your trunk and actually shoot water out of it onto specific objects to activate them. But the water doesn't destroy enemies, which would be pretty OP. You're also able to use your size to get over larger gaps that you otherwise would have to jump over. But overall, this power-up is one of my favorite new Mario additions in a very long time. And with that, that's the power-up ranking finished. Let me know in the comments what your power-up ranking is. But now let's get into the badge ranking, which is a completely different ball game compared to the power-ups, as there are a ton more of these in the game and they're all unique in their own different ways. As for now, only 14 badges have been revealed in this game, but we will only be going over 12 since Coin Reward and Auto Mushroom weren't fully shown off yet, only the description. So for now, let's get to the first badge at number 12, which is the Jet Run badge, which allows you to run at high speeds without stopping, which in my opinion probably won't be used too much by casual players, but mostly by maybe speedrunners, as this allows for missed opportunities within the game because you're moving so fast throughout the level, you'll probably run past something of value, and will probably be used mostly in shorter levels with a narrow course of direction as seen in the direct. For number 11, the Coin Magnet will be taking the spot, which does, as the name implies, magnetizes any coins in the area towards your character to collect. This just seems like a badge for people who need coins for a specific item they need and don't want to waste the time replaying through the entire level to collect every single coin in sight, and just wants an easier way to gather the coins instead of searching for them. The Sensor badge will be coming in at number 10, which makes your character glow and makes a sound to let the player know that important items are nearby. As seen in the direct, it also shows when special pipes are nearby too, which is pretty useful, but in all honesty, we've all played these side-scroller Mario games before, and we all try every pipe anyway, so unless it's helping us find really hidden objects that isn't shown in the trailers, then it isn't as useful as the direct is making it out to be. Number 9 on this list is the Dolphin Kick badge, which gives your character a boost of speed if you shake your controller underwater, and I would have put this badge lower as it's only used underwater, but it's also able to destroy blocks while underwater, which makes me think it's also able to destroy enemies too. But in all honesty, I'll take anything Nintendo gives us to make underwater levels easier and faster to get through, because those levels are every Mario player's worst nightmare. The Crouching High Jump badge will be number 8 on this list, which allows for players to perform a crouching high jump as the name describes, which will be very useful for any high ledges or secrets that you may struggle to get to. But the reason this is so low on the list is because we still do have the triple jump in the form of a badge that isn't as high as this jump, but it's still known as the max height any natural jump will give you in a Mario game. Of course, there will be places that will only be reachable with the use of this badge, but overall this badge is slightly one of the more useful ones out of the bunch. But coming at number 7 will be the timed high jump, which is the triple high jump badge I was just talking about, which is essentially the triple jump from the other Mario games, but it seems like you'll be able to jump higher and higher the more times you time your jumps with this badge equipped, which is pretty useful but isn't a really new mechanic like the crouching high jump. And the only reason I'm putting this above the crouching high jump is because of how high you're able to jump with the triple jump, and if this badge is anything like that, it's probably going to trump the height the crouching high jump is going to produce, as the triple jump and this badge are essentially the same thing. The wall climb jump will be badge number 6 on this list, which allows you to hold onto the wall and climb upwards right into a wall jump. The badge is pretty useful for really tall platforms or to get up walls faster, as you're able to jump as high as you want onto the wall, climb up, and wall jump as well, which is very valuable as you're able to stay on the wall longer and get more value than just being able to have a regular wall jump. Invisibility is the next one, sitting at number 5, purely because you're able to hide yourself from enemies to get through levels quicker and avoid confrontations in really difficult situations. Keeping track of your character seems like a bit of a challenge, but since the camera follows your character anyways at all times, it won't be that difficult to keep track. And sitting at number 4 is safety bounce, because who doesn't want an extra chance when dropping into lava or bottomless pits, right? But this seems like one of the most useful badges in the entire game, because you can use these in castle levels or ghost mansions, because in general these are both filled with lava and bottomless pits, and it's a real lifesaver so you don't have to reset the level all over again. The only thing which is kind of questioning for this badge is how many times can I actually bounce? Do I have to reset the bounce by landing on an object, or do I have to time my jumps to be able to bounce multiple times? I guess we'll have to find out once the game releases, but we'll leave it at number 4 for now. But let's move swiftly on to the top 3 badges in the game, starting with the floating high jump, which if you've played Mario Bros 2 or Super Mario 3D World, you can get behind this badge, since it's basically Luigi's ability in those games, which makes you jump much higher than usual, but lets you float momentarily in the air as well, which is one of the most useful abilities in the entire game, as it just powers up your initial kit, which is why we all played Luigi instead of Mario in those games. And this is also why I understand why each character doesn't have their own abilities as opposed to those games, because of additions like this, which is really cool. Just like the second best badge in the game, which is the parachute cap, which is the return of Princess Peach's ability from Mario 2 and 3D World, which is her floating dress that floats in the air for a few seconds. But in this game, this badge allows you to float indefinitely until you land on a platform, which is a really cool twist on an already existing ability, while also adding a really cool animation as well, which is, I think, one of the best things in the game. But now for the best badge in the entire game, the badge that I think is the most unique and my absolute favorite thing I've ever seen in a Mario game apart from Mario Galaxy as a whole, which is the grappling vine badge, which is literally the most unique thing I've ever seen Nintendo put into a Mario game. Like, you can literally be the Nintendo version of Spider-Man and swing from wall to wall, which I think is absolutely brilliant, and as I said 1,000 times before, one of the coolest things Nintendo has ever added to a Mario game. If I missed the same exact addition in a different Mario game, please tell me in the comments, because this is awesome. And just so that I don't get people yelling at me in the comments, this list is purely based on what I've seen from the trailers and gameplays, and is just an assumption before the game releases. I'm sure my opinion will change once the game actually comes out. But with that disclaimer done, we've reached the end of the video and the ranking. If you guys have a different opinion to mine, which I'm sure you do, please let me know in the comments below what you guys think, and I'll go over them when I read them. I hope you guys enjoy this video, and as I said at the beginning of the video, subscribe to the channel if you've enjoyed this video, and if you want to keep up with anything Mario Wonder related, turn on the notification bell as well. I hope you all have an amazing rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace!